find your bastion, take to the skies. You'll hear the sweetest of lullabies. You'll learn your history, so steeped in shame. You'll feel the guilt of the ones to blame. Cloudburst, moving in reverse. Old curse, thought it couldn't get worse. Still land, company once grand. Withstand knuckles of your own hand. There's something in your past that you can't erase. Build a road in front of you. You can't fix a broken heart in a couple of days. So bring it back or start anew. Backtrack, building the road back. Stone cracks, hammers on the attack. We ride over the divide. I guide, keep you on the right side. There's something in your past that you can't erase. Build a road in front of you. You can't fix a broken heart in a couple of days. So bring it back or start anew. There's something in your past that you can't erase. Build a road in front of you. You can't fix a broken heart in a couple of days. So bring it back or start anew. Turning back is bound to be just another calamity. Turning back is bound to be just another calamity. Yeah. Turning back is bound to be just another calamity. Turning back is bound to be just another calamity. Yeah. Turning back is bound to be just another calamity. Turning back is bound to be just another calamity. Yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to Final Show. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I've just got a few pre-show notes for you. First of all, I want to let everybody know that our addresses have changed. Our Twitch channel has changed from Senstaku to twitch.tv/FinalShowFilms, and our YouTube channel has also changed to youtube.com/FinalShowFilms. Next, we want to thank our $20 tier supporters on Patreon, which is patreon.com/FFilms, by the way, if you want to go throw a couple bucks our way. That's going to be Cat Waterflame, Antitonic, Samantha Bates, and Maureen Monty. Thank you guys for that. Also, our website is in the process of getting updated, so go take a look at finalshowfilms.com. We've got Mara and Jeremy are working on updating all of our stuff there, making it look nice and like a modern website, and frankly, they know what they're doing far better than I or Austin ever did. So if you want to check out the things that are changing over there, you go do that. Follow us on Twitter at Final Show Films for updates for all future things, including things that are going on with our website and going on with the Patreon page, and things that are going on live as we stream them, as well as our podcasts and everything else. So thank you very much for watching. Y'all have a good day. And we're live.
We should have gone live during that whole thing.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm William, and I'm the storyteller for this Hunter the Vigil campaign, Terminus Tendency. And joining me today, we have our players, beginning with John.
I'm John. I'm playing Sean Mulcahy, the Malleus Smile of Carmen. I want to apologize because I just realized that the gun pointing at the door that I'm using for the away banner is also pointing directly at Drew's head. I'm gonna flip that around.
Whoa, wait! I want to see.
So then it's pointed directly at Holly's head.
Well, then it's pointed at the titles, and it's not
I
pointed
want
at.
to see this.
I've already flipped it around, but if you catch it on the delay, you
Yeah,
might see it.
I'm trying.
Yep. No, I see
I'm
that too.
gonna turn it
Nope,
so
nope,
that
it's flipped already. Damn
I'm
it.
gonna turn it so that it's pointed away from Drew and at the door, not looking like we're trying to indicate someone might shoot themselves in the head. 'cause
Watch
that's
this
not-
video, or we will kill this piece.
That's not on brand.
That's not us. That is not how we do.
Oh dear.
I'm just gonna turn it away the other way.
And Jack.
Hey, everybody. I'm Jack. I play Eamon Mulcahy, the other Malleus Maleficarum here of the group.
I mean, it's fitting that the Malleus Maleficarum had a shotgun pointed at the Lucifuge.
You're not wrong.
I didn't. I know
I mean, you put the gun there.
that wasn't me.
and,
As I recall, that was an image requested to be used by you guys.
and Craig.
Who's muted?
You're muted.
Take two. Hi, I'm Craig. I'm playing Paul Phillips, the Aegis Kedoru acquisitions expert.
You're also really quiet, like your mic is
Really
muffled.
quiet.
Hardware mute. There
Hey,
we go.
there
There
we go.
we go.
And Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Astrid Ashwin, Knights of St. Adrian.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Nina Sky, Union Satanist rock star.
Yep, and we are short Aaron. They will probably be back next week.
But are you a Satanist or a Luciferian?
No, I am a Satanist. I am a non-theistic Satanist. Well, Nina is a Satanist. That's not a video clip. I need to spread online.
Just gonna attach that to your bio and full.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that much, but then some people would get all pissy and annoyed. So
It's okay.
Hmm.
I know some vegans.
It was quote marks. I am a non-theistic Satanist. ... Quote marks. Jeremy.
It's about right.
oh, we're off to such a good start.
Yes, the best start.
This intro is hella on brand for us.
Oh man. So when last we left our heroes, they had gone for ice cream. Some of them had gone for ice cream. Some of them had decided to have a long and in-depth conversation with their vampiric brother. Some of them had decided to go to a church and get some guns and information about vampire artifacts.
There is literally nothing more Georgia than going to a church and getting some guns. By the way.
I mean,
And,
do we-
and Will, you
we
said
did-
to remind you if you forget the intro sequence.
Yes, thank you so much.
we did come back from the ice cream shop. It must be said.
Yes.
Yes, and
We
came back-
absolutely did because John's character, whose name, even though it was literally said 2 minutes ago, I have forgotten. Sean, that's right. Okay. I'm sorry. It was one of two
It's
really
not
bad
even a weird name.
stereotypical Irish names. It was one of two really bad stereotypical Irish names. And I've been doing a lot of wrestling news today, as always.
And you were
so
trying not to say
kept
Seamus.
entering my mind.
No, Seamus is the guy they went to see,
Yes.
complete
yes.
with the mohawk.
We went to you and I went to go check on Astrid.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we came back
Um,
after that too.
And before we continue where we left off, at an undisclosed location some point in the future, in a dark briefing room, the person giving this debrief continues. And so, of course, this is leading up to the events of the next morning, which I think we'll all find are a bit of a sore spot, because this is where things start to get a little bit confused and a little bit gray, shall we say, because, well, this particular subsection of this mission we've decided to denote as the Red Dawn Rising for a variety of reasons. We'll get right into it then, shall we? And rejoining the group as they complete a night's rest.
Did I have any dreams holding that fang dagger?
No.
That's disappointing.
Do we get
Okay.
do we get a willpower back for having completed a night's rest finally?
Yes.
Hey.
You don't have any dreams yet, Eamon. You've had a fang dagger for a night.
He's an optimist.
We'll never have dreams again, oddly enough.
I'm not Korishana.
No, Korshana never had dreams to begin with.
But as you all arise in the morning, Astrid, you wake up in your bedroom. Notably, your brother is not visible. You do notice that the closet door that is large enough that you recommended he stay in for the morning is shut.
Quick, open the closet. Make sure he's still there.
And dust.
I mean, that level of fucking up would be pretty on brand for this group as a whole.
Wait, is he still there? Click. Fuck.
Yeah, no, she's gonna assume that he's in there. She's not gonna open the door. She's not an idiot. In fact, she's probably gonna cram like some sort of material like under the door so that sunlight can't seep in.
Mm-hmm. Very, very considerate. Just to make sure. Yeah, you take a little bit of a couple spare towels and roll them up and stuff them under the door. And the rest of you awaken in Nina's apartment.
Later on, the maid comes in, opens up the closet to clean out the common. How many ways can a vampire be accidentally killed?
Eamon's gonna get up and start making coffee.
I assume nothing horrific overnight.
Nope. Colleen definitely seems to have had a more sound sleep this night.
I get up and start making coffee, except instead of coffee, it's just bourbon.
Is she still asleep or is she awake?
That tracks.
She's probably still asleep right now.
Okay.
Right.
What does Nina have for breakfast?
Nina has food. Various food things.
I feel like Nina probably generally has a cigarette for breakfast.
Nina herself, or what does Nina have available? Which is the question?
Yeah, what is available?
I mean, she actually keeps it pretty well stocked with like normal cooking implements. She doesn't do a ton of it herself, but she's not my changeling character, whose food consisted of takeout menus. It's standard what you would probably find in a fairly average adult's kitchen area.
Oh, you're saying at least 3 different brands of children's cereal.
5. But also, like,
Eamon's gonna lean into it and have a bowl of Lucky Charms.
Yes.
Whenever Eamon turns away to look at something else, I'm going to quickly splash some bourbon into his arms.
Eamon notices and is pleased.
Paul somehow manages to find a box of grape nuts and is eating that for breakfast.
At which point is the point that Nina comes out and is like, I didn't have grape nuts.
Where did these come from?
Or oatmeal or something like
Yeah,
that.
there's oatmeal.
No,
There's
I like that there are grape nuts that Nina just doesn't remember ever getting because Nina doesn't eat
But
grape
Paul
nuts.
managed to find them somewhere.
I mean, it's entirely possible because sometimes when she has guests over for the evening,
One
he's
of
like,
them
"Yeah,
brought grape nuts.
let's have grape nuts
and-
delivered. Sure,
and
why
you're
not?
not-
You want grape nuts? You're strange, but sure.
You're not going to know when they go stale, so
Nina's not going to care. She doesn't eat grape nuts.
I know. Well, and people who eat grape nuts hate themselves already, so
Yep.
There's an inside joke here.
it's not an inside joke.
No,
It's
no.
just a horrible cereal
No,
Yes.
it,
that dads eat. So
someone on the Final Show Films crew eats grape nuts. Anyways,
I eat it sometimes because I hate myself a little. But
anyways. Right, so who's all up
Nina
for?
comes out looking fairly normal, actually. Just jeans and like a pair of shorts. Grabs the bottle from you.
I mean, you could have asked.
It's mine. I don't think I have to.
No, it's not.
Oh, did you bring your? Oh,
Yes.
mine's better. I go for mine.
I mean, she's not wrong.
That's your subjective.
You have cheap
Higher-
bourbon that passes for holy water.
Higher
No,
proof.
we have
Better.
We have bourbon that has been that has replaced holy water.
Yeah.
Not passes for. There are holes in the bottom of every one of these things that's sealed up with wax.
Better kick burns quicker. Better.
Right? How's everyone like their coffees?
Gets you drunk faster, burns longer. Anyways, who's up for killing some vampires today?
Ooh. Ooh.
Because we just so happen to know where there's a country club full of them.
And it's not that far a drive.
Very nice. The only question is, do we want to do it during the day when all of their guards can very easily see us coming, but they're asleep, or do it during the night when their guards have less attention, have less ability to see us coming, but they're awake?
well, forgive me if I'm missing something here, but I think we're also all at a disadvantage unless you went out shopping for night vision goggles last night.
I mean, I can.
Actually, I'm of the opinion that if there's a laddie down there who dates back to the Second World War and was an active member of the Nazi Reich, it might be nice to catch that lad with his pants down and asleep.
Legit. My only question is, you guys made it on and off, so I'm assuming that there are some people there at the club who are just members of a country club.
It looked like all of the people that were there posing as members of the country club were there specifically posing as members of the country club, but still part of the guard retinue. There's more.
Right.
There are more Aryans there than there are back in London.
But like Eamon pointed out, I think I'd rather deal with Hans and Franz than I would with the colonel.
No, yeah.
himself.
Absolutely. I'm trying to I was
We
trying-
are here to pump you up.
I was
With lead.
I was concerned about if they were not if there are just random people there, they wouldn't be there at night.
Yeah,
And so we wouldn't have witnesses to our mass murder.
that's the other point.
Right, but I certainly got the impression that us dropping in for a quick 9 was relatively out of the ordinary.
Okay.
There didn't seem to be many people there that weren't guests. However, that's still a fair point. It is in an area where there are people that live, so would be also probably better to do it later, just so, or earlier, I guess, when they're at work.
Right, that's not a bad idea.
I mean, earlier it's not bad. It's not like oh dear God, please tell me it's not like right next to a school, right?
I don't think so. No,
No.
no,
Nah,
no,
just
no.
more
No.
alongside of a little bit of a
Farmland.
I mean, a bit of farmland, bit of forest, bit of golf course, and then, of course, all the little McMansions that grew up around it.
Right. There were some residences right around the course itself, but we went out there and they seemed, at least from what I could tell, unoccupied by anyone who was awake during the day, at least.
Okay.
So they might have been at work, or it might have been full of vampires. We're not sure.
What we should do is we go back there with Eamon muttering to himself for a little while and see if we can't get into any of those houses, make sure there's nobody else around, and then if we can secure the perimeter, then sort of move inward.
Right, that's a fair point. We did also find out last night that there's a good possibility that this Colonel's been a bit of a collector over the years. Just want to make sure everybody's on board. Of course, we clear out the threat first, but any artifacts afterwards, I want to make sure they get stowed safely in the local labyrinth for investigation and examination.
I'm sorry, labyrinth?
Right, my people, the Aegis.
That's where Bowie hangs out.
A labyrinth, so...
Right. We'll call Hoggle, make sure he's on board, and get everybody lined up. We'll do.
Fair enough, though. If there are any religious relics in his collection, the Vatican might want them back.
Well, of course, but I mean,
Nazis are known. Nazis are known to collect relics of all sorts.
Right, but I mean, of course, you would want to have them validated first. I mean, if
you guys
everything a relic about it.
You guys can argue about who gets the loot later, and then I can kick you both in the nuts and walk away with it.
Well,
let's focus on.
Sure, but I just want to point out that if every single relic that supposedly contained a splinter of the true cross was actually real, we could build a whole suburb worth of picket fences with the things.
Oh, fair enough.
Right.
So
fair enough. Having them evaluated first.
Only real artifact that I'm concerned about is getting a little bit of practice in with this. And he whips out the greatsword.
It's a claymore. It's a Scottish claymore.
It's a claymore.
Where have you been hiding it to whip it out?
Excuse
Under
me
the couch.
while I whip this out.
Brother, stop playing with your toys.
2 hands.
If everyone could kindly, except for Astrid, who is not present, roll me a wits and empathy, please.
Uh-oh.
Not wits and empathy, wits and composure.
Brother, stop whipping that thing around.
Dun, 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 dun.
Any modifiers?
Also, where did you hide it again?
Under your settee over there.
I sometimes pass out on that.
That's why I laid it on the floor underneath, so you got 2 cushions and a frame underneath you before you get to the business.
Also, it was flat. It's flat on the ground. You're not going to cut yourself on the flat part.
I mean, not without really trying.
You'd have to really try.
I am a talented person. Apparently, I see fucking all.
That is a lot of. That is 5 10s there, sir.
That is 6 successes on 5 dice.
Nina slams her Turkish coffee and it's like,
I can see through time.
So Nina, as the one who got the most successes of the group by a while.
Eamon got 4. It's only two less.
Yeah, but that's the difference between a success and an exceptional success.
That's fair.
Yes, but still.
So Nina,
2, 3, 4, 6. We can't count.
You're sort of in the middle of this conversation and just kind of knocking back an opening drink, and something catches your eye out of the corner of your perception, out of your peripheral.
Okay.
And you sort of tilt your head. You just sort of out of the corner of your eye, as you had looked, you've seen just like the faintest flash of red. And you look in the direction you thought you had saw it, and you see the window.
I shoot in that direction. I don't look in that direction because, to the best of my knowledge, when the last time I saw, I saw our walking hot MacGuffin, There was nothing red on her, so I'm probably not shooting her. And if I am, well, she's a god, so it's fine.
It's not movement that you see. It's nothing moving. And so you sort of.
Okay, so I pull the gun out and I almost shoot.
Yeah, you point. He's like sort of on reflex, just point the gun.
At which point, my gun gets out and points in the same direction.
And you take an extra second to look, and there's something outside the window. And you sort of walk a little bit closer, and the someone with a less strong stomach might need to take a second to heave, because what you end up seeing looks like the back alley of an abattoir.
Okay.
Has been displayed out front of your house.
Okay.
Because the severed limbs of several individual creatures are sort of nailed to a nearby wall, and a splatter of blood spelling out the words "present for you" are written out on the ground.
Do they look like human bits?
Some of them do. But you also see one particularly large and furred arm that ends in a set of claws.
Motherfuckers.
I walk up and
that was me. That was me. That wasn't Nina. Yeah, Nina just stares for a moment and then turns and walks towards the door.
I walk over to the window, look out. Do I recognize any of these limbs?
Would you recognize dismembered bits of random people and or monsters?
Depending on if they had any noticeable tattoos or anything.
Not that is immediately recognizable.
Do the clawed bits look like the things from the sewer, or do they look more regular werewolf?
They look more like regular werewolf bits.
Okay.
Also, we are assuming that they're on the ground. We are a story plus up, so it's not.
Yeah, that's where Paul is staying.
Yeah. No, Nina just like dead, stone cold look is.
Well, so much for this being a safe place, I say as I follow Nina out. I'm assuming Nina's going outside. I'm going out to the front.
I'm going to see if I can see anything from the window. You know, any cars around, anyone or anything, I guess, observing the house from farther away.
Go ahead and you got 2 successes. It doesn't look like there's anything nearby that would be like having a decent view. In fact, this place is pretty out of the way in terms of visibility.
Okay.
So you're fairly certain that nobody, even outside of your group, would notice this splatter for a while until someone got unlucky.
William, with 3 dots of professionalism as a hitman, do I know who to call to clean this up?
Roll me professional contacts plus.
I don't have any dots in contacts. I just have dots.
Yeah. Roll me your profession dots plus. Sean, let me look at you real quick. Plus intelligence.
0 successes.
Not off the top of your head.
Eamon's gonna casually sling his claymore over his shoulder and wander down. And he's gonna poke around and see how wet is this blood.
Yeah, once I'm down there and outside, I'm looking how freshly cut off.
You can go ahead and roll me wits and investigation, Eamon.
I am looking around for identifying
1 success
features and that sort of thing, and keep an eye out, since I know this area obviously best,
It's not
for
long.
potential hiding places.
Yeah, it's not long dried, but it's definitely dried. So probably sometime over the course of the time that you guys have been asleep.
Right, but I probably can't narrow it down much more than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for how freshly these arms were lopped off?
Probably around the same time, just based on what your brother's finding. Probably. Roll me a wits and medicine, or intelligence and medicine, actually.
2 successes.
They were definitely dismembered post-mortem.
Does the blood seem like it's theirs, though? Like
Yeah,
dismembered
it
and then,
definitely seems like their
used to-
blood.
Well,
Identifying features and potential places that people could be watching this.
Yeah. Roll me wits and streetwise.
Okay. So there's one.
Yeah, you look around. You know a couple of places where people could be hiding out potentially to watch this location, and you inspect all of them, and there doesn't seem to be anybody there.
Okay.
As for identifiers on these creatures, there doesn't seem to be anything in particular.
Okay.
So who do you think left these?
I don't know. Bring them in. Let's pull them into the warehouse.
I will first call Astrid. King.
She'll answer right away.
Oh, Astrid, if you could do us a favor and get down here sharpish. Some folks left us a present. You also might want to look around where you're staying and see if anybody left you any particularly bloody presents.
Ask her to bring some garbage bags.
Also, if you could pick up some garbage bags on your way down, it'd be lovely. And some bleach and some lye if you can find any.
I don't even want to ask. All right, I'll bring it.
Click.
Bleach and lye aren't going to be a huge deal. We can just hose off this fucking.
Put a lye for the bodies. Lye, put them in a bath.
Oh yeah, no, legit, Sorry, not thinking. Yes,
lye for the body parts, bleach for the blood.
the bleach. Like I said, I'm not worried about the bleach. This is an area of downtown fucking Atlanta. Nobody's gonna wonder about some blood being on the street.
They'll wonder about this much blood being on the street.
I mean, the fact that it spells out a message for you might
That too.
might draw
That
a bit
might-
more
okay.
extra attention.
Okay.
It's a lot
mean-
of blood here.
I mean, I feel like the
And-
host will still get care of most of it.
No, it'll definitely take the edge off. That's for sure.
Just the bleach. The bleach almost makes it conspicuous that we've cleaned this area, and then people start to wonder.
Look at it this way: you're gonna get a nice, clean driveway for your place.
Yay. Well, who's got our furry friend's number?
I bet you Jonas did.
I'll look up at
Yeah,
where Craig is sitting in the window. Craig, you know the number for the furries.
I was gonna say,
Stop
whack!
Stop calling me by that vampire name.
Is that furries?
Because
Okay.
I of course am Paul. The vampire was named
Oh,
Craig,
sorry.
if you remember.
Paul.
It is really
Paul.
concerning when you start calling the party members the name you use for every vampire you catch.
Paul will take out his cell phone
I'm motivated.
and look up. And I think we had.
Yeah, I
Jack
believe you had
Cross's number.
exchanged numbers with Jack Cross.
All right. I will call Jack Cross.
That's gonna be short a few people or a few people's
humans.
arms.
Ask him if anybody needs a hand.
Oh God.
Legitimately, do not do that.
That's what I would
Let's
do.
not joke with the werewolf leader about the potential dismembering of his party.
That's what I
So
would do.
it rings 2 times. Third ring, he picks up. Yellow.
Mr. Cross, this is Paul Phillips.
Ah, yeah. What can I help you with?
Well, unfortunately, I'm calling with what might be a bit bad news. We received a visit at some point overnight, and they left some calling cards. It looks like bits and pieces of perhaps some mutual friends. Wanted to call and make sure that you and yours were all right.
Give me 1 second. And you sort of hear some shouting from around the opposite end of the line, and like a sharp whistle, and a few seconds pass. Okay, what can you tell me?
This is where we expect to hear Jack. Are you saying you lost your arm and didn't tell me?
I will very briefly describe the scene, just by saying, well, we've got various limbs, some appearing human, some I would likely say of your folk, not in their human states, nailed around, along with a message in blood. And what exactly did it say?
It's a present for you.
That says present for you.
Yeah. A couple of our boys went missing last night.
Well, we've got my condolences. Shall we prepare them to be returned to you?
Yeah. Fuck, I need to handle this myself. I'll be around shortly to collect the body parts. If you can give me an address.
Paul makes the offer. We're halfway through dunking them all in tubs of lye.
I'm like,
Right.
can we hear? Oh, I definitely wouldn't hear his side. Never mind.
Yeah. Paul says, right, it's not my address to give out. Let me confirm, and I'll call you right back.
Right, yeah.
And he'll hang up, and then we'll go downstairs finally and find Nina.
Hey.
Yeah, sounds like it's definitely Jack's boys. You come by and collect them for proper disposal. Didn't want to give out the address without your say so.
I appreciate that.
If you want, we can set up a place to do the exchange.
Yes, where we all parted ways, which is not far from here.
That's fair. All right.
And you're good down. Somebody needs to be up in that place at all times right now.
Right. That's I'm more than happy to be there.
Nah.
Colleen?
Eamon
Colleen, I had it right. Okay.
Eamon has a claw hammer and is just casually prying nails out of arms.
Yeah, Colleen is up there, and you can be down here on pickup arms duty, or you can be up there. I will take whichever one you don't want to do.
Holy shit.
Paul is,
you hear over your shoulder as Colleen is at the door.
Paul is like already... I think Paul actually hasn't come all the way outside. He's probably standing in the door frame.
As you see, Colleen steps up behind you and just, holy shit.
Hey, sweetie.
Paul turns around and says, yeah, I was just about to go back upstairs. You want to come with?
Unless you want to offer a hand, we can always use a little more muscle.
No.
I use one hand to slap Eamon in the back of the head.
Go back upstairs. Right?
Look, you don't need this particular cross of Grand Guignol.
Go.
Sure.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling.
Paul slams the door.
Glen,
and down the mountainside.
Oh, I am gonna beat the living shit out of both of you by the time we're done with this.
And we'll sort of usher her back upstairs, and then once she's
happened last night.
Fuck off, Nina. We use humor as a coping mechanism.
We're not sure yet. We're still trying to find out.
Looks like the Song of Morden.
Are the werewolves that hang out with Jack Cross. We're not sure who left us the message.
Use alcohol as a coping method, the way normal people do.
She kind of like walks over to the window and kind of looks down at it. Those aren't all werewolf parts.
Right.
Hey man, you
right.
should call Seamus. See if these are our boys.
Some of those are changeling.
Paul, despite himself, sort of
God damn it!
whips around. He's like, and then tries to compose himself and says, "Really? How can you tell the difference?"
When you know what to look for, you can sort of see through the veil.
I am texting my new changeling friend.
Paul,
Yeah, this voicemail is for
speaking
Seamus. This is Eamon. I wanted to know if there's any dead Catholics running around. Well, not running around anymore, obviously, being dead and the like. If you could send out a little census on the lads and lasses, see who we're missing, and then give me a call back at this number. Thank you.
Also, living ones who have recently lost their arms.
I'll text him that bit.
Okay.
I love that you guys are hearing this from the windows. Like, this is all background chatter.
Sorry, Craig. Go.
No, it's fine. Paul will say, I just had assumed they were werewolves in different states. We'll have to make sure. It looks like Nina's already taken care of it. Letting
one of the arms is made of ivy. If you look beneath,
does it? Can I see that at all?
No, not without magic.
Having seen through the mask before, do I get any hint of that?
No,
not without my.
Okay.
Not without my.
Not without the true sight of Saint Abel on.
Got it.
Paul will say, look, I have to make this phone call very quickly. Will you come away from the window with me? I want to ask you a little bit more about seeing beneath in just a moment.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And he'll call Jack back.
I don't mean to necessarily second guess all of our new friends there, brother, but they do seem to cuddle that girl an awful lot, don't they?
I'm standing right here.
Oh, shite.
So you were texting Shakes.
I'm just gonna really quick send Shakes a text. Hey, please hit me back just to make sure that you're alive. Also, it sounds like some of your people might not be, so text me back either way. And yes, she leaves it at that. Please text me back if you're dead.
Text me back if you're alive, but some of you might not be. Text me back either way.
Yes. Yeah. I'm standing right here.
So you call Jack Cross back again, and like it rings once, and what can I? Hey,
Mr. Cross. What we'll do, and I apologize for the impropriety, but just you certainly understand the value of locations which previously, at least, were thought safe. We will prepare them with respect, and we will bring them to you at the last location we had the good fortune to cross paths.
Right. Yeah, the sewer slot. Yeah, cool. I'll get a truck out there to gather up the pieces.
Mr. Cross, my sympathies.
Oh, sympathy. I appreciate your sympathy. But I ain't gonna be no sympathy for the people that did this in a minute.
Absolutely. I'll give you a moment. I'll call you back when we have them ready.
Right. Yeah.
And he hangs up.
Right, so Nina, as I'm looking at it, probably our best, objectively speaking, we want to know who did this and which way they headed, yeah?
We're also going to want to separate the arms out between the fuzzies and the non-fuzzies.
Right. Absolutely.
That
problem
was
with that,
implied.
we're gonna have a real hard time figuring out which ones of the non-fuzzy ones are still.
I can help with that. I'm going to use my true side of St. Abel so we can sort of get a little bit further on our filtration.
Yep. And as he's working on that, you get a text back around the same time as as Eamon, your phone rings. The text that you get back reads, "Yeah, I'm alive, and yeah, some of my folk went missing. What do you know?" Question mark.
And I'll answer the phone.
And
Top of the morning to yous.
yeah, it's a Seamus. What the feck?
Well, we found some body parts that were apparently left on display, and wanted to see if it was any of our folk or if we need to start beating the bushes and making the rounds.
None of our folk have gone missing. No, doesn't seem like it.
Fair play to you then. All right. Well, if we find any relevant information, we'll pass it along your way.
What the feck? Anything relevant right now?
Somebody's running around ripping the arms off of fairies and werewolves and leaving them as calling cards.
And it's not us?
Sorry?
And it's not us?
Not best we can tell.
Fair question.
So
Fair question.
it seems to be a third party, as it were. So if you want to just keep an eye out, make sure that everyone's on full alert, that sort of thing, might behoove us to be a bit more watchful as the day goes on.
Right, I'll put people on full alert then.
And we'll track it down and murder the shit out of the bastards.
Right.
You know, like we do. Besides, I got to work in that claymore you sold me.
Make good use of it.
Oh.
I'll do some research on what this might be going on.
Right, blessings for you, brother.
And also on you.
Click.
We all three have 3 dots of true sight. So resolve +3 to look at the arms and see which ones are werewolves and which ones are fairy, or which ones are changelings and which ones are not.
If you get 1 success, your true sight is active.
Yep. I got 3 successes.
You're good.
It's resolve +3. Okay.
I got 1.
You're good.
Yep.
You're good. So as Sean finishes the incantation of his benediction, all 3 of you feel that divine energy sort of wash over, and you can begin to piece together. You begin to be able to see through the mask to see which ones are changelings, and you begin to be able to see the telltale signs of the werewolf nature on even the human-formed limbs. Oddly enough, as you dig through and sort through, there are at least 2 humans among this pile of bodies.
2 humans or 1? 2 arms.
Body parts from 2 distinct humans, because one is male and one is female.
Any let's say, I don't know, monk-esque signs on them?
Not really.
We do know. Okay.
Any tattoos?
Mm.
I mean, that was sort of, yeah.
No tattoos. Nina, you want to call your folks and see if anybody's missing?
I will shortly. Honestly, they're the people I'm least concerned about at the moment.
Did I know that you called in Astrid to see if she could bring us some chemicals for the cleanup? Did you tell her exactly what is going on?
She said she'd rather not know.
Oh, I suppose that's fair enough.
She'll find out when she gets here.
Speaking of Astrid.
So,
what are you doing? Yeah, because you got a text.
Really quick. Oh, yeah, no, I just really quick send back we have body parts here that were sent to us. We'll be delivering we'll already delivering other parts to where we all were last night. Meet us there. And then I turned to Eamon. I was like, so we're not coddling shit.
Fair enough.
We're trying to be, look up there, enabling and friendly with the person who can alter reality.
Right. That's reasonable. It's just and this might just be my own opinion, but if you've got somebody who can alter reality, and I assume coming at it from sort of a common presupposition that we want her to use that sort of ability responsibly, shouldn't she be aware of what reality's like?
No, we don't want her to be able to use that ability at all. However, if we do, let's not introduce potentially traumatizing aspects that are more likely to induce negative swings than positive ones.
Fair. All right. I'm no psychiatrist, never claimed to be, so I'll leave that up to you.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I would caution though, keeping her, trying to keep all this away from her might not also be the healthy option. Because you never know. One dismembered arm later, and then the whole world turns inside out.
I don't feel like I want to desensitize the God machine.
Really? I feel like that's the best option.
No, I think that is the worst fucking option we could come up with.
Or the conduit to the God machine, or whatever.
Yeah, right now, functionally, she's the God machine.
We're not mages. Yeah. We don't know the difference.
So Astrid, what are you up to as you are heading over to presumably see what the hell just went down?
Hopefully getting trash bags lying in bleach.
Yeah, first she'll check outside because he mentioned make sure you didn't get any presents.
Yeah, as you look outside and everything looks normal outside your apartment.
Okay. Yeah, she'll stop by the store, get garbage bags and cleaning supplies, and head over there.
All right. So it'll take you about half an hour's drive and about 15 minutes in the grocery store.
Okay.
Probably like a home improvement or a hardware store to make sure you can actually get lye. But it's about half an hour later. You arrive on the site as they've successfully piled and separated body parts in human, changeling, and werewolf, because those seem to be the three types here.
Are there
you also find a couple of piles of ash that you can only assume were the remains of vampires.
Huh, okay.
Oh, well that does put a slightly different color on things. And also, are there complete bodies? Just been made into pieces, or are we
just arms?
It looks like it's mostly limbs.
Are there legs?
Because as you pull things down, you sort of get the impression that these were arranged artfully. You don't know what the art's supposed to be, but you know that they were very specifically placed with some kind of artistic intention.
Begs the question, I guess, of where's the other bits and what they use for them.
But these were mostly limbs, arms and legs.
Well, either they're dead, or somebody's going to be being called Hopalong for a while. I say, miming with one of the legs.
You said she's here at this point?
Yeah, it's about half an hour, and you arrive.
You arrive just for the Hopalong joke.
So does she still see the mangled limbs and everything?
I'm assuming you guys have piled them inside the warehouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Neatly organized into supernatural type.
And
that said, there is still a bunch of blood on the outside concrete.
I'm probably outside hosing right now.
Just Nina with a water hose.
High pressure hose. What's up?
Want to tell me what the hell happened?
Yeah, we apparently got a visitor in the night who decided to send us a message. A present. Creepy things that go bump in the night's arms. Lots of them.
And
They're in the
Vigil
warehouse.
as well.
Sorry, what'd you say, Jack?
2 of them are just human. Also.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and two humans.
Anyone we know?
No one with tattoos at the very least.
We know that
Okay.
at least Jack Cross and Shakes are both missing people.
We called, or Eamon called Seamus. No boys from the Vatican are missing. Also, we probably should have asked if any of them were out hunting either last night, because I don't think this isn't exactly our MO, but you never know.
I mean, I'd pretty safely say that it's exactly opposite our MO. Like, we keeping things a bit under wraps, at least.
I was gonna start.
I did explode.
More than normal.
I did explode a truck yesterday.
Aye, which left very little identifiable remains behind.
Fair enough.
Also, you didn't take the bits of that
PD's been
truck.
having a hell of a time with you guys.
You didn't take the bits of that truck and nail them up on one of your friend's front porches to sort of rub it in his face that he didn't blow up a truck.
Also, fair enough.
I don't think this is a friend that did this.
No,
That's kind of what I'm saying.
absolutely not.
Unlikely. But yeah, not sure.
Also,
not sure
there's
who the humans are.
those dusty ashy bits over there. So if it's
Oh shit!
if it's the Colonel's folks that are doing this, they're a bit indiscriminate about hunting down their own kind.
I mean,
By the way, I would just like to comment on the irony of the fact that Nina was the person trying to say "Don't desensitize the God Machine," because I'm pretty sure that is the name of my Nina Sky cover band.
Desensitize the God Machine.
Yes. But so somebody. Okay, it might not be somebody who's friendly to us, but it might be somebody who thinks they are.
it may be somebody who thinks we're not who we are. Because most of these are all monster bits.
Do I know anybody, William? Do I know anybody from? I'm running through groups in my Nina is running through groups in her head. Does she know anybody from Ashwood Abbey who lives in Atlanta? This is Ashwood Abbey kind of bullshit.
Kind of, yeah. Roll me wits and occult.
Okay.
As if they want, I'm just wondering if maybe they thought we were monsters too and decided to leave a message for us.
Oh no, I think they know exactly what we are.
2 successes.
2 successes. You know that Ashwood Abbey has a light presence here. You might be able to find him if you tried to look for him. That said, even Ashwood Abbey knows that while they can enjoy and have their parties, they probably don't want to leave them out where people might see them.
I mean, yeah, but they're also bug fuck crazy. So
yeah, this is true.
There are those really, really fucked up ones that even the other Ashwood Abbey people are like,
Yeah, we don't claim them.
I mean, if it's just a light presence, I don't think they could pull this off.
Get that many bodies? Probably not.
In one night, particularly since apparently, from what we've understood, all these people disappeared last night.
Yeah.
I mean, on the plus side, I don't feel any less safe currently. Because if they wanted, if this was actually about threatening us or anything to do, particularly with Colleen, they could have literally walked in as we slept and walked out with.
I mean, it might very well be that they think we're not doing our job. Again, most.
I mean, that's it's a little out of range. But is it possible to do a wits and empathy on a blood graffiti message?
I would call that there isn't a
wits and crafts.
I was gonna say there isn't an enigma skill anymore, so we'll call it wits and empathy, sure.
Okay. He's probably not going to get anything anyway. Nope.
Sorry.
It's a message for you.
Yep.
Message for you, sir. I mean, though we do have to take into account that whoever did this was at least good enough to get rid of. I just start pointing out werewolves, changelings, vampires, and I mean humans are pretty fucking easy, but still.
It depends on the humans. Thank you very much.
In general, humans are pretty fucking easy.
Comparatively, yes.
Yeah.
On the whole.
Can I sort of bookmark the conversation that Paul will have at this point had with Colleen some point in the past and come down and rejoin the group?
Go ahead.
Okay, all right.
Hello there, Paul.
I just have been biting my tongue and I'm like, I want to jump in.
I mean, if you want, we can run that conversation if you want to.
I didn't want to interrupt everything else. I just wanted to jump in.
No, interrupt.
At this point, they're cleaning up bodies. So the conversation you intended to have with Colleen.
Okay. But yeah, so after he gets off with Jack, he will sit down. Is Colleen away from the window at this point? Okay. He'll sit down then and say, so you said you could see Ivy below, was that right?
Yeah, the thing that hides changelings, I don't know precisely what it's called. The monks might know, but the thing that hides them is a weird kind of magic. And I guess based on I'm sort of attuned to magic in a way.
Of course.
And so with a certain amount of paying attention, I can sort of see underneath.
Is that you have to focus to do it, or is it the sort of thing that kind of creeps in all the time?
You know that sensation of the hair standing up on the back of your neck when you can sense there's something dangerous around?
Sure.
Sort of like that. It's something that happens automatically. It's just kind of a trigger that tells me there's something weird, and then if I look, I can see it. It's not like I can just see through illusions all the time. It's just I have a sense for them, and when I know they're there, I can sort of try and see through them.
How do they look to you? I guess it depends on what it is you're seeing. Is that right?
Sort of, yeah.
Can I ask something a little bit narcissistic?
I mean, sure.
What does this look like? And he'll tap his eye.
It looks faint, like it looks kind of like a, and we lost Craig.
Yep.
Whoops.
Cliffhanger!
How have the cameras been messed up with that on accident?
Is this where we go to break?
We can?
Yeah, we'll probably take a break here.
Well, we'll take a break. Oh, wait, no,
Back in
that's
a-
Craig.
oh, wait,
Craig's
oh,
back.
here he comes.
Never mind.
Here he
Wait.
comes. Yep.
Wait.
Holding.
I'm back.
Hold it.
Okay.
Ready?
I live in the middle of nowhere, and it is windy tonight, which means my internet is a little spotty, but I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
I only have to rearrange 3 of you.
Jesus. Sorry. I'm sorry, John.
Way to go, Craig.
Yeah, Craig.
I'll try not to do it again.
Try not to live in a windy area in the middle of nowhere. Ever.
How dare you live where you live?
Anyway.
How dare you have a home?
Well, I am so sorry. I missed that. She was saying it's faint.
She was kind of stumbling for words at the moment, so it's fine. It's kind of like it's a faint aura. It's kind of like it's like comparing a flashlight to a floodlight, you know? You being that thing being more on the flashlight end.
Sure. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. It's not something I ever planned, and I'm not at all saying it's on the same level as what you deal with on a daily basis. But I'm just saying I have some inkling of what it's like to have something thrust upon you that's outside the world that maybe wasn't exactly what you would have planned.
I certainly wasn't looking for this.
Right. And like you said, flashlight, and he points to himself, floodlight, and he points to her. But I'm sorry, I guess.
I mean, for what? It's not like you did anything.
Well, we've all done something, but I take your meaning. But just sorry, it's what you deal with. And thanks for telling me. If it's not a problem, if it's something that doesn't bother you, if you see that sort of thing again, if you could let us know, that would be incredibly helpful.
If I notice it, I don't always notice it. Like I said, it's just sort of like it's a sensation that if I notice it, I can look for it, but I don't always notice it.
Of course. I'm sorry you had to see all that. I'm sorry I had to see all that, honestly.
What would do that to those people?
I don't know. I think the thing that makes the most sense to me right now would be this colonel, but there are other players in town. I'm not sure.
Baba Yaga.
All right, so we can narrow it down to someone who speaks English, right?
Congratulations, you've narrowed it down to
or someone who
about
has
75% of their own world.
Speaks English or has a translator, one of the two. There is an English speaker in there somewhere.
Yes.
And I don't mean within all of the yarns. I mean within the perpetrator.
There certainly is an English speaker within all the arms as well. But
I don't know. They could all be. They
I'm willing to bet. Yeah, at least one of them.
Anyway,
there's a lot.
Yeah, English speaker.
Unless those were their targets.
I mean, they are Nazi vampires.
Fair enough.
I feel like we were all supposed to understand a bit more. I mean, unless their goal is to just give us all a bit of yard work and make us a little green about the gills.
I feel like there was supposed to be a message there, yeah. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure who the message was for or what it was meant for.
Right. Well, I mean, I think it's certainly for us, but I think we're missing part of the meaning.
Was it
the fact that we were able to look out the window and see the letters oriented right makes it very clear it was for us.
I mean, it was meant for whoever was in that building, but it might not have been the people. We might not have been the people they thought were in the building.
That would be the strangest coincidence I've ever seen in my life.
Eamon's looking around the warehouse for like one of those things that you can, like some chalk or something that you can like write on the windshields of cars with, or something like that.
Oh, they're totally markers and like grease pens and shit.
Okay, he'll grab a grease pen and he'll just go out on to where they'd sprayed off the blood message and start writing down. Please next time be more specific as to the intended recipient and
please include return address.
Right.
It's gonna be so confusing for the random bystanders who walk by.
You're just having a conversation in sidewalk.
Yep.
If
And he
he
signs
hasn't
it,
already
yours
done so.
sincerely, the Mulcahy brothers. BROS period.
Would you not put our names on the ground, please?
Could you not put your name on the ground in front of my fucking house?
Think about it for a minute, Eamon.
I have a
He
reputation.
scribbles out
of gold.
Mulcahy and
You're
writes
a priest.
O'Brien underneath.
Excuse me, officer. I didn't intend to leave my name right on the scene of what seems like some sort of massive massacre of some sorts, implicating that I am aware of the people who did it and that there was a message involved in the meaning.
That's what the Vatican's for.
Yes,
Paul
but
will
that's
look over and-
paperwork.
All right, Astrid.
What was that?
Paul sort of amid this, Paul looks over and sees Astrid, who has arrived while he was inside. Says, "Oh, all right."
You
Astrid."
sort of hear Sean yelling at Eamon in the background, going,
Exactly.
"You're a fucking assassin, for God's sake!"
Trying to smooth over their family squabble.
I have
As one of them screams at the other as an assassin at the top of their lungs.
In broad fucking daylight.
Oh yeah.
And let them have their conversation.
You're a fucking assassin, goddammit. Ma'am? Lady with a stroller walking by.
Wouldn't be the weirdest thing to happen in Atlanta.
Definitely not.
in the video that Jonas left us, he said that there was something other than monsters out there.
Videos. You don't have cameras here, do you? On the exteriors?
I'm not answering that, so these two can have a conversation that we keep butting in on.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that we're not all in the same place.
Well, we are. That's the thing. I mean, I think the interruptions are happening in character.
Okay.
No, it is. It's just I'm trying to let you guys talk.
It's fine.
I proceed to
Nina would have been butting in on a lot of this brother argument.
Continue.
Go.
Really, the only thing Paul wanted to ask was, just among everything else, there was some piles of ash. Just wanted to make sure your brother's all right.
He's fine. I'll send him a message and see if any of his group.
I mean, you didn't open the closet to check, so you don't know these. Fine.
Fine. He's safe in the closet.
Yeah, good. Whenever he's awake, it just would help to know. I'm assuming it's from his group, but other than that.
All right. She'll go ahead and send him a message and just say, when you're up, give me a call.
Sure.
Mm.
All right. That was all.
Okay.
I just wanted to say hello because I think in character, even though we're all here in character, I think he would at least say hi.
Right.
And ask about her brother.
All right, so couple things. A, get your name off my front lawn. Second of all, if that name's going to bring the church here, get that name off my front lawn yesterday. Third of all, William, I never specified. I would assume that Nina has some kind of camera system, but I didn't specify, so I'm leaving that up to you.
Let me see.
I hand Eamon a mop.
I would generally say that for a robust enough camera system to be significant, you'd probably need at least a couple of dots in safe house.
Okay. Yeah, no, I figure I probably got basic cameras, but not anything major. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eamon is cheerfully mopping up his joke message.
I would say that unless you had a couple of dots in safe house, this would be conveniently outside of your basic cameras.
Fair enough.
Right. Astrid, you bring those trash bags.
Here.
And the bleach and the lye.
Yes. She just gives him a box
I
of stuff.
hand the bleach to Eamon, and I take the trash bags and the lye into the warehouse.
Careful, don't be...
Which bits are we keeping?
I'm just saying, we are about to deliver body parts to powerful supernatural beings who will be upset that their friends just died. So don't just chuck them in disrespectfully.
Which body parts are we keeping?
The furry ones and the
Fairy ones.
fairy ones.
Do we want to keep the humans
Yeah, I'm a little.
or like bits of them? I can cut a hand off if we want to hold on to it for identification.
Absolute. Okay,
Thumbs are useful.
if you want to keep them in your van,
Thank you
go
for being
right
the
ahead.
spokesperson for human evolutionary biology over the last 3 million years. Yes, we all know thumbs are fucking useful.
What I mean is sometimes people use thumbs to like for locks and shit, man.
You feel totally free to go full BTK with that kind of thing. But I am not keeping random human arms and hands that I don't know where they've been
Legs too.
in my home.
They got legs too.
Clearly, you're not Beowulf.
Unless you've got enough wax
I don't know.
around for
Maybe
us to make
maybe someone had a
antidote.
foot fetish. I don't know. I don't know if you wanted to keep the feet or not.
No!
Look,
Because that's how you go to the electric chair for being a serial killer, even though you didn't kill anybody. Okay, that's not true. But anybody that they found body parts of yours in.
yeah,
Don't trust me, officer. These aren't the body parts of the people I've killed. These I just found lying about.
it is a fair point though. I mean, we have a pretty solid line on the Fey folk and the werewolves.
Mm.
Where are these mortal pieces from?
They didn't come up as anything other than human in the
Yeah.
The true site, yeah, nothing other than human.
Do you have access to somebody with do you know anybody with access to federal fingerprint databases? Because otherwise, I feel like I'm sorry. What?
Yes. We're the Vatican. We have access to everybody.
My thought would be that they're hunters.
My thought would be that is, and I realize that this is harking back probably 3 or 4 topics to something we thought was already laid to rest, but we've got a girl upstairs with definitely better senses of perception and well, I mean, Colleen might be able to have a look at these things and give us at least some better clue as to what ties them all together or where they come from.
I look over at Paul. What do you think?
I think she's probably seen enough, but she's her own person. We can certainly ask her.
Choice, but yeah.
I'm keeping the hands.
Jesus Christ.
You're putting them in your fucking van.
Paul looks over, pinches his eyebrows and says, just let me at least wipe the thing down so none of my fingerprints are on the fucking van, all right? Before you start chucking bits in there.
Eamon, you have a hatchet. Or a cleaver. Bone saw, anything.
I've got a fucking machete, but let's get the business handled first and then we start putting things in garbage bags. Which I understand are probably... Do we think the werewolves will be offended if we're like, here's the remains of your dearly departed?
We're not carrying about a bunch of big fucking hairy limbs out in the open, not in a garbage bag. I'm sorry.
I mean, if it's a brand new bag of hefty bags, there's going to be like 50 in there. I really hope there's not 50 limbs. Wrap them individually. That's the most respectful we can possibly be.
All right.
We've only got 100 bags.
Do we really have more than 100 limbs?
There's nowhere near 100
I was
limbs.
going to say.
Paul has turned around and is walking back into the house.
Have you not been measuring these fuckers? Werewolf arms are huge. I need 2 for each.
I'm going with Paul.
There's maybe like 6 to 8 werewolf limbs and similar number of changeling limbs.
That's 16 That's 16 bags for the werewolves already. We're not a fucking garbage truck.
We've got plenty of bags, and there's some tape over here. Once Colleen gets a look at them, if she decides she's willing to, then I'll start helping you put them in the bags.
So the 2 of you head up to go talk to Colleen.
I'm trying very hard not to start this conversation. Hey, champ.
Right? So, Colleen.
As you walk upstairs, and she's kind of
She's currently trying to hide the body of an armless, legless creature.
No, she's in the middle of dealing a tarot.
Okay. Hey, so two things as I'm crossing the room. One, how are you doing?
Trying to focus, she says as she looks at the stack of the tarot cards in front of her.
I've been hearing Sean yelling about bringing me a bone saw.
This probably isn't gonna help. As she number two grabs the bottle of the bourbon that we've been drinking. You might want to have a shot or two of that.
She takes the bottle if
in case you haven't, unless you already have, in which case, well, feel free to have more.
Not this morning, I haven't.
All right.
We were wondering, were you able to get?
No,
I'm sure you had more than enough of a look, but were you able to get a look at everything that was out there? I know you were able to see below on some of them. The others were just trying to figure out exactly if there were some humans, or if the others were all otherworldly.
She kind of takes a swig from the bottle, sets it down.
Also, when you say you're focusing, do you mean you're just trying to center yourself mentally, or you're trying to focus on doing something in particular at the moment, and we're fucking up whatever magical thing that you can apparently do?
Little of column A, little of column B.
We should shut up for a few minutes.
I'm always good with that.
To answer your question, that's actually part of what I'm trying to do here. It's a really simple divination thing. It's something I learned from the monks. Maybe I can figure something out about the message that we supposedly was left for you guys.
Awesome.
As she shuffles up the tarot deck.
Little weirded out that you can do that, but it's fine. Awesome.
She like picks up the tarot deck and squeezes it, and it flutters from her left hand into her right hand in a perfect arc. Shuffles it around. Sets it on the table. Deals 3 cards out. And flips the first one, and it's the tower.
That's not good.
She kind of points out, so the tower is mostly just upheaval. It's not necessarily good, it's not necessarily bad, but something has just happened that is a major upset.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm going off a basic supposition that my generally occult-minded rock star is familiar with tarot meanings.
Yeah.
So
at the very least.
Yeah.
Paul is just watching fascinated.
At the and then the cause, she says, as she flips the second card, is the Lovers reversed.
Okay.
And the intent as she flips the third one is the devil upright.
Okay.
So a demon did this.
You have to think metaphorically here. That said, sometimes it's not a metaphor. But I mean, the devil is it's frankly it's my kind of card. It's about material, physical,
It's about attachment.
yeah, exactly. It's about the opposite of Buddhism.
In the Persona games, the devil is always associated with the seductress.
Yeah. That is not entirely inaccurate. And you said this was the third one was, I'm sorry,
Was the intent.
the intent. So
It was the event,
Lovers
the cause, and the
reversed.
intent.
Evil lovers reversed. Yeah. I mean, that paints a pretty clear picture as far as I'm concerned. But whether it's metaphorical or not, that's the whole thing of tarot reading. That said, Colleen, I'm assuming this wasn't just I'm going to pull out my Rider-Waite deck and do what I learned in my Wicca solo practitioner's guide.
No, there's a certain divinational significance to it.
Right. So I'm guessing you're going to have better answers than my interpretation side.
Yeah, I still don't have anything clear, but what I can gather is it was a present. Someone thought that you'd like that.
What I was afraid of. And somebody
was apparently trying to impress you, I think.
So the question is whether the broken relationship is somebody thinks that they did us wrong and they were trying to fix it. Like they've broken things with us, or whether it's something happened with them, or who knows.
I think they might just be a little bit broken themselves.
Oh, well, sweetie, they left a virtual fucking
a body part Picasso painting. Yes.
Yeah, a virtual orchestra of limbs outside. I think it's fair to say they're broken.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling.
I shut the door.
Are the cards just regular cards? Do they look new, old?
They look like they're in perfect condition.
Okay. Like, hypothetically, they just came into being when needed?
Maybe, but you don't have any way of confirming that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Paul will say, do you always carry around
do they look like
cards?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Do you always carry around a pack of cards?
A tarot deck? Yeah. It's one of the things. Magic, as far as the mages are concerned, is mostly a game of tools, I've learned. And it's important to have the tools that you use on hand. There's a number of different weird magic tricks that you can do with a tarot deck.
Is it just like a standard sort of one of those mass-produced Rider-Waite things?
It's a little bit. It's definitely handcrafted. It's definitely unique. Okay. It has its own unique images. But it follows the major arcana.
Right. Fancy. Okay, well, that gives us some idea of even if we don't have the specifics of what all that means, that gives us a direction. So, okay, this is where you definitely want to take a drink.
Okay, she takes a drink.
There are a couple of, as near as we can tell, with the tricks that our Catholic friends down there have human appendages. We were wondering if you're okay with it, and no is an option, if you could scan them over and see if there's anything that the vision of the Catholic Church, which is a thing I trust so much, is missed.
I mean,
Again, no is a valid choice.
I'm willing to look. I just don't know what I would be able to find.
Just to see if there's anything below, like you said.
Sure.
Okay.
So I have to paint a picture for you when you come back down. Because I've been singing "Oh Danny Boy" this whole time.
Right.
I mean,
so,
I hope things are more presentable than they were previously.
So as you come down, I'm sitting there with a plastic bucket that I've found somewhere. The human arms are arrayed nearby, with a machete also nearby. And as I'm pouring lye into this bucket, I am on the part of the verse, if I am dead, and dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave there for me. Because I like puns.
I lean over and say quietly under my breath to Paul, and you questioned why I didn't want to take myself or present company to their church.
Paul said, "There's a reason I withdrew myself from that conversation. I feel well affirmed."
All right, come on, let's do it. Let's go check out some arms. That'll be fun, won't it?
Ah, you're coming down to do some palm reading, are you?
For fuck's sake, man!
What? I'm in the middle of wrapping up arms. You're gonna get mad at me for making jokes.
Ah.
Gotta find my amusement somewhere.
Do you mind taking a look below, just for a moment, just to
Yeah.
make sure?
Yeah, I'll see what I can find.
But it gave you some space.
She just kind of walks over to the human arms, and kneels down in front of them, closes her eyes, and he made the joke, but she literally starts to trace her hand along the inside of one of the palms. Again, this kind of divination magic is really faint and doesn't get like a lot of specifics. But one of these was just a police officer who was in the wrong place at the wrong time, I think. At least I can't find any particular reason that they would relate to the supernatural.
Probably found them when they were in the middle of bisecting the others.
This other one was not a hunter, but someone who was aware. They have a touch of the supernatural. I think they might be... Oh, Jack's going to be angry. I think this person might be related to one of the werewolves.
We'll put this with the werewolf arms.
Paul looks over and says, "No, I don't think so. I don't want to answer any questions about that, do you?"
Fair enough.
I feel like they need to know, though.
Yeah, but then they'd have to ask how we knew.
All right. Paul holds up his hands. He says, "All right. So what we could do is we could bring both of the human remains with us as well, and simply state that, look, we're not sure because they weren't in wolf form, but we thought these might be yours as well when we wanted to give you the opportunity. Does that seem reasonable?
That's a good idea.
Probably our best option.
All right. Thanks, Colleen.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I'm dumping the police officers' limbs at least.
No. Again, no. We need to bring both.
But they don't. How would they know that we've got the police officers' arms?
Paul turns around and says, look, because I've heard you answer questions, and while you are a crack shot, and while you're damn good at cleaning up a crime scene, prevarication is not your strong suit. And if we get specific questions, I don't want you in a position of having to answer whether there are extra bodies or not.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Put the lid back on the lye container.
All right, so we pack these up. We do the meat.
Please use a different word.
Honestly, I'm feeling like getting.
Got Craig.
Honestly, at this point, I'm feeling like after we do that, we get out of town and go at least hit something we know what needs hitting.
Nazi vampires.
Nazi vampires.
Nazi fucking vampires.
That would be very therapeutic right now.
Well, help me load these trash bags in the van. See, as I start carrying limbs.
I'll
to
heave
the
up.
van.
So you load everything up in the van?
Yep.
And
Parcel
presumably
post.
head to the designated location. About like a 10-minute drive, as mentioned prior.
Eamon, you have your bagpipes on you.
No,
Don't.
I left those at the church.
Oh,
We'll have to have a ceremony later. Proper.
Proper burial, sure.
And proper wake at least.
Proper memorial service.
There we go.
I think that's what they call it this side of the pond.
And when you get there, you find that
Like the roller coaster of emotions we're sending Nina on.
fuck is wrong with you?
Jack Cross's group is already there, and as you arrive, you see Shakes and a couple of her group arriving as well.
Okay, which is the changeling pilot? Which is the...
I've marked them.
There's no nice way to put this.
I've marked them.
Okay.
The ones with a C on them are changelings.
All right. You guys
The sea
deliver
bags.
the... You two brothers deliver the werewolf ones.
Righto, we'll grab the
Who
doggy
wants
bags.
to help me be out of these two's presence for a short time as we go deliver the changeling ones?
I'll go with the brothers.
Okay.
I don't know why that was so funny to me.
Honestly, Nina, trust me, I appreciate the sentiment, but I was the one to make contact with Jack Cross. I probably ought to go see him in
No, that's
person.
good. No, you're fine. I'm going to take a guess and say that there is less volume of changeling arm to deliver and leg and etc.
Definitely less volume,
than
yeah.
werewolves. I can probably deliver them on my own.
Probably.
Okay.
Colleen, however, is like, I'll go with you away from the potentially 2-ton killing machines.
Good plan. Yes.
I weigh about 157 dripping wet. Oh, you meant right.
I mean, with the van, I'm 2 ton. Actually, a little bit more than that. Van's about 6 ton, but still.
They're already gone.
We carry werewolf limbs to Jack Cross.
Yep.
Delivery.
See, Jack and Rufus and a couple of the other werewolves that you've seen but haven't been introduced to are there. Let's get this business over with, he says.
Our condolences. Sorry to be starting your day off this way.
Well, certainly how the day's going to start. But it's going to end with either some heavy drinking or some hunting.
I lean over towards Eamon, sort of scratching my chin. I mean, think?
You're muted, Jack.
I reckon we ask Astrid and Paul what they think, but possibly.
Yeah.
Although they might have a more specific objective in mind for theirs.
Fair enough.
Paul, meanwhile, holds out a hand to Jack.
Okay, you need to clarify there for the
Fair point. Paul holds out his hand.
I thought I was the one making bad jokes today.
I'm sorry. For half an instant, I legitimately thought you were like, here's the kinfolk hand. I'm sorry.
I mean, 100% a fair point. Let me rephrase. Paul holds out his own hand, still attached, to Jack.
Jack kind of looks at you and gives you a short nod and shakes your hand. Thanks for letting us know.
Of course. And again, good to work beside you. Sorry this is the fallout. And apologies for starting off on perhaps not the best foot. Hope you can understand it was just a desire to keep an eye out and make sure that you were on the up and up as much as you seem to be.
I get it. Everybody's got to sniff out the competition.
Paul will smile a little bit at that and say, let us know what we can do from here for you.
If you catch these fucking assholes before we do, kill them for me, and that'll be enough.
You've got it. We've got, and I apologize, there's not really a delicate way to say this. Among the remains that were more easy for us to identify as belonging to your folk, there were a few others. Forgive me, I'm not really sure how biologically things function after the moment of death, but we also wanted you to have a chance to take a look and see if they might be yours as well.
Yeah, all right.
I would like to point out that I am halfway across I am all the way across the field before, or the intersection area, talking with a changeling before the guru starts to identify the bodies of kinfolk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, speaking of, as you and Colleen head over with the
Yes.
bags with changeling limbs, Shakes kind of walks close and just kind of has her arms like she herself is a little bit cold, as she just kind of keeps her arms close to her chest as she approaches.
I have a quick but very relevant question.
Mm-hmm.
Who has the silver bullets?
I think
I had them at one point.
You had them,
Yeah, I
and
think-
then you passed them off to someone, and I don't know who you passed them
You are
off
correct. I did.
I don't think it's Paul. It wasn't Paul, was it?
Probably either Paul or Drew, I think.
I think it was Drew.
I think Drew has the silver bullets.
to. Good to know.
I mean, if we're asking if something about Paul is making the werewolf itchy, yeah, it's his magic anti-werewolf eye. I don't think.
Well, no. I was wanting to know just in case I needed
Just
to
in
know
case
where
he
to get
needed
some
to
silver
grab
bullets. Yeah.
because the Guru start to rage
at the sight of a dead kinfolk arm.
Yeah. No, no, I don't think Paul has them on him.
Drew has them, which means they're not here right now.
Actually, no, that is correct. Whether Drew has or whether Paul has them now or not is one thing, but I specifically remember at the time I took them out and I tossed the clip to Paul.
Oh, to Paul? Okay, so
Yeah.
Paul does have them.
Yeah, because Paul, between the two of them, Paul is not actually blind, just one-eyed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so
Paul
Paul
can
does
still
have-
use the bullets.
So
Paul does have
if they're chambered 45, so they will fit in your gun.
Right. Okay.
Because the 911 is 19. The 1911 is also a 45 round gun.
Yeah. All right. Well, since I didn't remember that, we'll say Paul didn't either, and so Paul is now talking to werewolves with a
With a clip
magazine full of silver bullets
with
in
a
his pocket.
magazine of silver bullets.
So, as you approach Shakes,
Hey,
hey,
there's no nice way to do. There's no gentle way to do this. So
no, there's really
here
not.
you go.
And she kind of pulls away one of the bags off of one of them. Oh, Greenleaf.
I don't mean to be intrusive and questioning and the like, but I don't. I'm sure you saw the other people gathered here.
Yeah.
It wasn't just your people's. It was. Let's call it a cross section of
Mhm.
different types. So I have to ask, do you know where Greenleaf was last night? Is there anything you can provide that would potentially give us an idea of who did this? If you can't think at the moment, that's fine. I get that. But
Vellum, where was Greenleaf's motley running last night? And another sort of much older looking changeling who looks like he's sort of a late 50s, maybe late 60s guy with sort of the sort of receding hair that just kind of slides back with sort of this eagle-like nose. Kind of looks down at like a sheet of like a scroll that he's got. Looks like near the 285 overpass, Spaghetti Junction, somewhere around that region at the very least, sort of looking around, checking out for potential hollows. Nothing of particular note.
what's a motley?
It's our term for a group.
Okay. Like friend.
Kind of.
Okay. Do we know where their motley is? Have they checked in lately?
The entire motley went missing.
Right.
And I'm going to assume there's at least 2 of them in these bags.
Were there only 3
There were
of this
4.
motley?
There were 4.
Why are you only assuming 2 of them?
Because if these are 1 to a bag, there's not enough body parts.
Legit. No, yeah, it's 1 to a bag. So there's 1 person who is missing completely, probably. So I'm gonna be as straight with you about this whole thing as I'm comfortable being, which is to say that this shit was delivered along with a message that it was a present for us outside my front door, so you can understand why I'm a little bit wanting to find out who did this so I can make them stop.
Yeah, so do we.
I get, yeah, absolutely. We are of the like mind on this. Are you comfortable working together on this? Just sharing information. We're not gonna be roasting s'mores together and
You've already helped me out, and this would be helping me out again in a way. So yes, I am willing to help out.
awesome. Okay. There is I'm going to leave these here with you. You can determine who they are at your own leisure. I want you to have sort of the privacy you might want for that. Just let me know a little bit about the person who's missing, why you think they might be any of that information would be incredibly helpful.
Yeah. I have your phone number. I'll keep in touch.
Awesome. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. She just kind of lets
About
out.
this time is where the Krynos screws start tearing people apart across the street, right?
She lets out a breath, and you can see the air kind of frost on her breath for a minute, even though it's not that cold out. And across the street, Jack Cross. Sure, yeah. Let me see these human parts. You're muted, Jack.
Which is when Eamon sort of slowly pulls Astrid back like a step and a half and just sort of leans over and whispers, do we want to see if these lads are interested in coming down to the plantation? Might help them work off some of that pent-up aggression.
It's a good idea.
Check with Craig and Nina, see what they think too.
Paul.
You mean Paul?
Paul, yes.
Paul.
I do mean Spanner.
So he walks over to where the human parts are and lifts one of them. Don't recognize this one. He says he moves over to the next one. He lifts it up, and there's just this long, quiet moment as he stares for a minute. And
Those
he's
are
kind
the
of
scary moments.
And just kind of sniffs the air for a second, sort of getting a scent.
Paul, can you come here for a moment? I say asking Paul to step back over to where I'm at.
Everybody get back.
Sure. Yeah, this now seems like an excellent time to have a quiet conversation over.
Over here.
Flip.
So, just really quickly, in assuming that we're not in a fight in a moment, you think these guys would like to come out and help us, deal with the plantation house? Maybe burn off some steam.
Yeah, I certainly think they would. And it would be it'd be nice to have somebody else on the front lines other than ourselves.
Yeah.
As you're having this conversation, there is a loud crash as Jack Cross just set the arm down very gently, turned around, grabs some random detritus off of the street, and hurls it at the side of the building, and it shatters against the side of the wall.
Oh man, I was hoping he was gonna throw the van.
Keep dreaming. That van
Not
survives.
my cabbages.
That van survives.
Oh no, it would survive. It would just make it that much less convenient.
And there's just this shattering sound as what was probably like a piece of discarded steel on the road just shatters against the wall of whatever building you just tossed it into.
As as the people across this, I'm sure all of us are like, ah!
I look over at Eamon, nod affirmatively, and then head jerk towards Jack Cross.
Paul is gonna, I think, turn around and sort of stand with his hands behind him and just wait and see which direction Jack is going next.
And Jack, like after he tosses it, he just kind of stands there with like his arms bent and his hands kind of clawed for a second, not transforming or anything, but just kind of seething for a second.
Paul will just say, "We think it was the Colonel, and we know where he is. You in?"
Even if it wasn't the Colonel, I need something to rip to shreds right now.
All right.
And we can certainly point you in the direction of that.
As soon as we get all this cleaned up after all.
Then let's get on the road.
I'll go fetch Nina.
We're on our way back.
Whips around and hauls his happy little Claymore ass over towards the van.
Yep. We are stopping at the van and not going any further because there is an angry ball of furry death there.
I'm going to help them gather the rest of the trash bags up and then head back to the van.
So, Nina, we've somewhat enlisted Mr. Cross and his compatriots to run down to the plantation with us.
Okay.
I know that we don't have any firm leads, but our best level of information at this point apparently points towards the Colonel from some of our more intelligent group members' theories. So we figured we'd at least help them work off their frustration and aggression in a more constructive fashion.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I have a couple of concerns.
Reasonable, I assume. Yeah.
Concern number one. Well, they were fine before, but it was kind of a different situation. Being in the presence of Mr. Cross and his allies when they're that touchy, shall we say? And number two, Colleen being anywhere near them right now, because remember, all of these people want to use her.
That's fair. Well, Colleen can jump in the van, and we've got multiple vehicles. So if she does come with us down to the plantation, she can be in whichever one's furthest away. And as far as tactics and that sort of thing go, I wouldn't be surprised if we let Mr. Cross and his lads go in, lads and ladies and such like go in first. And no, I'm fair on board with keeping Colleen ensconced in a more protected and safe location.
Okay.
And
yeah.
Paul, I assume could be over with this conversation at this point.
Yeah, probably.
And pokes his head in and says, keeping his voice low, but says, "Right, and if the last scrap was any indication, I'm certainly not opposed to letting them go in first, like Eamon's saying, and maybe fewer of them we have to deal with down the road."
I mean, that's a potential. Although I'd be rather pleased to see the looks on those shite-eating Scandinavian faces when they pull out their guns and 14 tons of fang and claw comes running over the bushes at them. That'll be entertaining.
Let me know when I'm done helping them with the arms.
The pleasure of being in the front lines, but
you're probably done helping them out by now.
Let's clarify really quick. Are we pretty much just going after the current? Because I need a reminder. Are we just going after the Colonel to take him out, or does he have anything in relation to Colleen that we need?
He's a bastard. He's a Nazi. He's a vampire. I don't know if he has
we need
anything.
some answers from him?
No.
Well, no, I don't think we need any answers. He did have Colleen at one point,
Right.
so he's going to be looking to recollect. So that's.
But he also has Colleen, which means that he knew where to get her, and he might have answers about where the odd gay machine May is.
Well, okay, so
Hey now.
this
As far as I know,
Yeah.
queer doesn't mean odd anymore, and we can't use it in that way.
This is me out of character asking a question just to make sure my own pale human memory is working correctly. She was being held by the mages, and then she was taken from them by the colonel. Is that correct, or am I missing a step in the middle?
That is, as far as you know, the situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we need to know how he got a hold of her, how he knew about her, how he got a hold of her, what he knows about where it might be, etc. And if we send in the supernatural equivalent of a tactical nuke.
So, here's what I'm thinking. My brother and I go in first. Send the werewolves in after us. While they're having a bit of a ruckus, dealing with all the Scandinavian bastards, we find the colonel wherever he's sleeping, stake him, wrap him up in a box, slide him out the back, let them continue to ravage the rest of the place.
I mean, I feel like that's not fair to Astrid to not get to come with you and do terrible things to vampires.
I mean, Astrid, perfectly willing to come, if you'd like to come with us. It's just that the two of us are a bit good at sneaking, so.
I mean, I would like to, but if it's easier.
But my benediction will cover 3 as easy as will 2.
Fair enough.
Here's the other thing. I'm assuming that the colonel, ancient as he is, is still plugged into a data network. Might be possible for us to get answers to a lot of questions from equipment that's not going to be torn apart during the battle. So, salvage the colonel or not, as long as we can access any computers, other records that he might be keeping, we might be able to glean quite a bit from that as well.
Let's run it by. We can run it by Jack. Let him and his boys know. Tear the place up as much as you want, but don't break any computers if you can.
Sure. That's a conversation that I woke up today expecting to have with a werewolf. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, getting more information would be helpful, and I agree with Nina that there's every chance that the colonel's got some shit up in his noggin that could be pretty helpful for us figuring out on what this whole Terminus tendency bullshit's all about. He seems to be pretty high up the chain, up the ladder, so to speak. So having him under wraps for a bit of interrogation, not that I mistrust Astrid's capabilities, but we may have to get a bit more creative than our usual. But still,
we're definitely gonna have to. We're definitely gonna have to make sure we have him in a place where it'll be very easy to get rid of him if he decides he doesn't want to cooperate.
Well, you all are the vampire experts, but what if you just tell Jack Cross, limbs are fine, but don't take the head off?
There's a certain point where it doesn't matter what you've taken off a vampire. You hit them hard enough, they turn to dust.
They're dead, yeah.
The head makes it nice and easy, but it's not the only way.
Unless they're fairly new. I mean, they're still dead, but if they're fairly new, there's at least still a body.
Yeah.
All right.
A really gross body, but a body.
All right. Paul, go back to Jack Cross if he's still there.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a
So-
fun conversation to have.
So, look, I'm not really sure how to say this.
He just looks at you.
Like you are, we're hoping, of course, that the Colonel is the one who's at the core of everything. But if he's not, because we want to make sure that we can find the person who's responsible, we want confirmation that the Colonel is the one who killed your people, who's tracking us, and so on. So while we're there, take out all the minions, take out all the lesser vampires that we can, right? But leave any sort of records, computers, all that. If you can avoid it, we'll try not to damage those. And if it's possible for us to leave the Colonel in any sort of state to be questioned, at least we can be there with you, ask questions, and then we'll turn it back over to you if you want at the end. Is that a fair shake?
All I can promise is that I'll try.
That's all we can ask.
And if he is the person that's responsible for killing my men and some of my kinfolk, after you're done with him, he's mine.
Can't say fairer than that. It's a deal.
Got ourselves a lightly used vampire here, folks. You can fit so much torture into this old bad boy.
I just really like the. Okay, Mr. Werewolf. Now that we've angered you with the disembodied parts of your kinfolk, we're going to present something to kill in front of you, but you can't kill him. You can only hurt him a little.
Yeah, and to be fully upfront and potentially disadvantage myself, Paul is straight up lying to him about the reason we want the
Of
Colonel
course.
alive. So if you want me to make a roll for that,
Roll me just for the hell of it. Roll me manipulation and subterfuge.
Just for the hell of it, never ends well. Ever.
manipulation and subterfuge.
Yeah.
Can I use my specialization? Fast talking.
Yeah, sure.
You can probably spend a willpower too,
If you want to.
Get those extra 3 dice.
because I'd rather not be dead right now.
That's fair.
And you're the
yeah,
one with the silver bullets,
I will,
so-
if I may, spend a willpower. Why does it think I keep wanting to roll wits? And so it's an extra 4. 3 successes.
Yeah.
It's probably good that I rolled those extra dice.
Yeah, so he seems to be agreeable to your plan
Okay.
in the most sense that a raging werewolf can be agreeable.
Yeah.
He's affably enraged.
Affably enraged.
So Paul, yeah. So
That's my
after
Rage
having
Against the
this
Machine cover band.
And so after watching this guy throw a giant piece of metal halfway across the parking lot and then calmly discussing how to go about exchanging the remnants of a vampire corpse, it's like, all right, so I'll text you the address.
I think we can probably just keep up with you.
Sure. All right. And does Paul have any option other than riding in the van?
Astrid has been riding her bike.
I was gonna say, I think it's pretty much normal operating procedure at this point that
Vans
there
or
are
motorcycles, yeah.
2 motorcycles with the van at all times.
Okay.
And the question is,
right.
do you
As
want to
we
currently
blew up
be
the truck.
exposed to the elements, or do you want to be exposed to the Mulcahy's?
It's more the I guess we've cleared out all the corpse remnants at this point,
Yes, we
right?
have cleared out all the corpse
Okay.
remnant. It just smells
All
like
right.
dead body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just smells like dead bodies.
All right.
Eamon, remind me to get you to bleach down the inside of the van when we get back.
It's your turn this time.
You're the one that wrote that fuck stupid message on the ground.
Is that right, love?
Yeah.
Fine.
Paul will I think get into the van and activate his one-eyed king.
Which one?
The one, I think there's only one out in the world at this point. The one that he had slipped into Astrid's brother's pocket, just to make sure he's okay.
You activate the one-eyed king, and you see a vampire curled up in a closet.
Okay, all right, I'll take it off right away. That's fine.
Unfortunately, it's not Astrid's brother. It's some other vampire.
It's another vampire in her closet.
You open it up to see the coin being put into a stripper's thong.
Wow, somebody needs to learn better strip club etiquette.
Right? A fucking
Didn't
coin?
Didn't
Are
say
you
it was at a
kidding?
strip club.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure that wasn't one of the piles of ash.
Yeah.
Good.
The one-eyed king shows you a pile of ash.
Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
You get vertigo because the coin is currently being flipped into the air while somebody's saying, heads!
What
I
kind
like,
of
wait, I like how I've become, when Paul looks through the coin, he's become the bad guy from the end of Superman 2, like spinning off in his space.
to the Phantom Zone?
Exactly.
That bad guy's name is Zod, by the way.
I know.
Zod. DOS backwards.
No, Daz backwards.
It pronounces Z like an S.
Oh my
Only
God.
if you're really
Yeah,
trying to
this
stretch the
far
bounds of
from the
reality.
narrative?
What was that, Jack?
I said, oh my God, are we starting to diverge this far from the narrative?
Yes.
Anyway,
what time of day is it right now?
it's probably like,
It's
considering you guys went to sleep at like 5 in the morning, it's probably like 2 in the afternoon.
Okay. So she's gonna send a text to her brother that says, off to kill the colonel. Call me later.
That text probably comes through right as Paul is looking through the coin, and he has a heart attack as he is looking into this dark closet. Suddenly something goes, bzz, does this.
Lights up a little bit.
Well, specifically the because this is who this character is, because this character is basically me. You're looking into the coin, and then something in his pocket just screams, "Silas!"
Yes.
Jesus.
So
Amazing.
you hear someone scream a name at the top of their lungs.
Oh, awesome.
Because that was my phone notification for a while, and it would be again if I had bothered to reset it.
You're right back there, Paul. You just jumped for no reason.
Yeah, it just I drifted off there. A little bit of a nightmare. Everything's all right.
I mean, if it was a bit of a nightmare, how's it all right?
Well, because it was dreaming, and I don't get the sort of nightmares that, well, you know.
Fair enough.
That ultra reality. Sorry, I'm not.
Yeah. So you all proceed to make your way up the highway towards the plantation/golf resort
Yup.
with the werewolves in tow.
Yep.
All right, so park the van, aim and start praying, and we go in.
More or less.
When we get there, yeah.
It'll be you, me, Astrid. We'll make the first push in. Any of them that aren't vampires, which we still got a bit of daylight out. So hopefully all of them will still be asleep.
I mean, hopefully we've got a ton of daylight because we woke up in the morning, saw arms.
It's just afternoon. We're fine. Right?
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's only about 2 hours out. So yeah,
It'll be about 4 in the afternoon by the time you guys get there, which you
right.
still
So
got
yeah,
3 or
we'll
4 hours before sunset.
I'll pull out my golf bag.
Well,
and
it's autumn, so it's October, so you'd probably have at 4. You'd probably have about 2 hours till sunset.
That's plenty of time for mass murder.
yeah,
Plenty of time to find a vampire and stake him in the. Unless one of those fuckers that rise early. Fuck them.
All right. Well, that's the general ID.
Right.
Works for me.
Plan in motion.
And we're rolling.
So it takes you, like I said, it takes you a couple hours to get there. So it's about 4 p.m. when you
By the way, Paul,
arrive.
what exactly did you tell the werewolves? Just so we know what we're dealing with.
Well, the deal is that they'll gonna try to make sure to only rip apart the flesh things, leave the computers and records for us to look through, and then they're gonna try to keep the kernel in one piece long enough for us to get any questions in that we might have. But if we determine that they were the ones who killed his pack mates, then we'll turn the kernel over to them for final disposal. And to be clear, they think we're just looking for records to confirm that the kernel was the one who left all the grisly bits on the front yard.
Yeah. Fair enough. Are they expecting us to interrogate the colonel in front of them?
Didn't make that part of the bargain, so we certainly should be able to get.
We're gonna have to be a little careful, just in case.
When you're a guru and you're dealing with neural people, you get to change the bargain at any given moment.
Yeah, that's the problem. You still got those silver bullets.
The deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
This deal's getting worse all the time.
You still got them silver bullets, Paul.
I do.
Keep them loaded.
Certainly will.
Might need them. Just in case.
Certainly will.
I mean, they also did say they would try.
Right. Again, I certainly would trust any sort of records that we can find far more than I'd trust anything that came out from between those fangs.
Oh, absolutely. But we're gonna try.
And you guys arrive on site. The golf course is much more deserted than it was.
Okay. Not to be that guy, we are coming up on over here, so I just don't know how much of the prep we want to do versus how much we wait for next week.
No, yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say, as you guys arrive on site and prepare to enact your plans, as the werewolves arrive behind you, the group of them start to exit vehicles and sort of mill about. And where we leave off this week is the whip crack of a gunshot as one of the werewolves is dropped on their ass by a shot coming from the vicinity of the plantation house.
Start praying, brother.
And that's where we'll end for the week.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
My time is drawing thinner. I'm just a tired old sinner. No chips left on this shoulder. No pride in growing older. But when your borrowed time is through, I'll be with you. Redemption Blue. last. All the mistakes of his past. There's no haven here for me that's safe from my memories. But when your borrowed time is through, I'll be with you.